Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all participants who have joined us today for this workshop. SCAI is committed to fostering the growth of the shopping center industry in India. One of our primary goals is to facilitate knowledge sharing among industry professionals. To achieve this, we publish a monthly magazine, Mall Talk, highlighting best practices and strategies from around the world. We also organize a variety of learning opportunities, including virtual workshops, master classes, and physical sessions. Every month, we host a webinar to help industry professionals enhance their operational skills. We invite seasoned professionals to share their experiences and insights. In addition to our regular workshops, we offer online masterclasses conducted by industry veterans. These masterclasses cover topics that can help members improve their knowledge and daily operations. SCAI's workshop series has reached a significant milestone. We have already organized 20 workshops and 17 webinars, and today we are excited to host our 21st workshop. Mr. Indraneel Majumdar is conducting today's workshop. The theme of today's session is Think New, Think Original, making your mall succeed beyond expectations. This unique session will provide you with valuable insights on transforming your mall into a thriving hub of innovation and success. I'll give you a brief introduction of Mr. Indraneel Majumdar. He is a seasoned mall custodian with a deep rooted history in India's mall industry. He has been a key figure in the Indian mall industry since its inception, with a career spanning prestigious properties such as City Centre, Calcutta, Phoenix Market City, Bangalore, Phoenix Market City, Pune, Inorbit Vashi, Inorbit Whitefield, Bangalore, and VR Whitefield. For the past 6 years, he has been the head of Sarath City Capital Mall, Hyderabad, where his deep understanding of demographic insights, social trends, and operational strategies has been instrumental in making the mall a landmark and a financially successful venture for developers and investors. The success is exemplified by the mall achieving a turnover of rupees 2,116 crores in financial year ending 24. His innovative approach to evaluating retail brands has gone beyond traditional financial metrics, providing a comprehensive understanding of their operations and sales. This holistic perspective has significantly boosted the growth of the mall and offered invaluable support to brands and their leadership. In addition to his expertise in the mall industry, he is a renowned speaker and writer with published books to his credit. His interests span diverse fields including music, sports, films, art, and culture. And he has been actively involved in supporting various initiatives such as international trade fairs, NGO activities, and corporate CSR efforts. Dear friends, you can, in case something comes to your mind relating to this discussion today, the workshop today, you can submit your questions. And at the end of the session, Indraneel will take up those questions. So let's welcome Indraneel. Thanks, Indraneel, for sparing your precious time and conducting this session for the industry professionals. Over to Indraneel, all yours.
Thank you, Anjeev. Thank you and the SCAI organization for inviting me over to do this workshop. And I truly believe that The opportunity is uh, mine as well as all of us to make the best of what is happening in India today. And so, therefore, with all humility, I accept this opportunity and would try to do my best for all my industry colleagues over here who have assembled and who are, joining this workshop now. Uh, I hope the screen is shared and everybody is having a look at the first introductory slide, which says management, mall management in 2024. Think new, think original, and succeed beyond expectations. Uh, these are big English, uh, you know, uh, phrases, and sometimes big English phrases tend to cover very flimsy concepts. I can assure you that what we are doing in this industry is actually matching these phrases and even going beyond it. Only that some of us may not be knowing about it, may not be looking at it from this kind of a prism. Uh, our prisms are different because our cities are different, our towns are different, our locations are different, and the format of the mall may also be different from place to place. And so, what happens is that we aren't knowing exactly uh, how beautiful the opportunity is in front of us to push this forward, to correct this, to take this to another dimension altogether. And so, some of us who are assembled from towns like Jabalpur or Jaipur or Baroda or uh, uh, Ranchi or Patna or places like this may not really understand that they are standing inside the cockpit of a huge successful operation, maybe in the very very near future. Uh, that kind of a cockpit is not available to many managers in many countries who are in the shopping center retail industry. Only thing is that today I would try to unlock the incentive within you, the unlock the opportunity within you, and make you or bring about that initiative which could make a huge difference. Let's go on to the first slide. Mall is a thriving hub of innovation. It is a living animal. Why I say it is a living animal is that when so many people come into a mall and they're doing various things, some eat, some laugh, some have discussions, some shop, some sit down quietly, read a newspaper or check something on their mobiles. Some are on doing their selfies and are on the net doing something with other people, maybe a video call or something like that. Some are arguing with each other, some are crying, some are keeping very quiet because of some some misunderstanding or some sadness at their homes or wherever. Some are waiting, some are uh, some are leaving, some are coming in. So many things happening. How is it that the mall is not a living animal? A living animal also has cells within the RBCs and the WBCs, and they are doing things. And because of what they do, is what we are. We live because they are doing things within us. It's in the same way, whatever your customers are doing makes it a throbbing, living animal kind of a pace that the mall has. And we have to respect that. We have to respect a living animal. We have to know that a living animal um, needs to breathe, needs to move, needs to morph, needs to age, needs to look, by its presence, and and needs to behave socially. All of these things are on us to make it really happen. If we do not make it happen, then who makes it happen? We cannot expect our plumber to do it. We cannot expect our electrician to do it. We cannot expect our security guard to do it. We cannot expect our parking attendant to do it. They will do it because we do it. And therefore, the onus of making a mall, which is a throbbing living animal, is on us. It is on us that the existence evolves and changes from time to time, and the mall, becomes responsible. It carries with some pace, and has a certain kind of an attitude. We provide the attitude, whether it is the legal manager, the leasing manager, whether it is the collections manager, whether it is accounts, whoever it is, they are all going to support us to make it a living animal. That's about the customers. What about the brands? They also change, they also morph, they also happen, they also grow, they also degrow. They are also living the day. They are a part of us being a living animal. And that is how we'll have to conduct ourselves going forward. The next part is that it is a complete brand platform. Let us stop calling ourselves just a mall, just a destination. We are a platform. People come onto a platform to express themselves. We have to allow them to express themselves, even if it is a very small expression, even if it is a shopping cart which is kept in the middle of your atrium, and there is a person who is giving away apples and mangoes and oranges on any particular day. That is an expression of goodwill, that is an expression of happiness. And that's how a, a brand creates an expression within the mall. And we are a platform. We are a platform for millions of expressions on a daily basis. I'm not talking that it's a brand platform only from a marketing end, from a complete encompassing vision that all our brands find a mall as a brand platform. They're here to do majorly. Either they sell or get their. In both cases, it's the work of a platform. Like you might have seen, Times of India morphed from being a newspaper to being a brand platform. And therefore, their sales have gone up through the roof in various ways. That is, from advertising, from responses, and various other things that they do. They have become a brand platform and their sales have gone through the roof. They are not just selling you a 3 rupees or a 4 rupees newspaper. That's not the be all and end all of that newspaper. They are actually a brand platform. They actually write over there that it's advertorials that carry them forward. In the similar manner, if we progress ourselves as a brand platform, our progress as a living animal will go to the next level. We need to understand that, as the picture below beside tells you also. It's a little bit of a funny picture, but a brand platform makes everybody crane their necks up and look at the platform in a different manner. It uh, it it immediately creates an attitude. Your mall will start to have an attitude. That brings me to the third part that I've written: a complete element of surprise and happiness each and every time, not only for your clients, that your brands, your tenants within the mall. For every arriving customer, it's a pleasure, it's a surprise, it's happiness. We are in it to do this in a very, very exacting manner. We cannot fail in this structure. We cannot have two ways of doing it. Oh, we will be a brand platform today, and tomorrow we'll be a rent principal or be a rent landlord. No, it cannot work both ways. And therefore, industry colleagues, please understand that though we may be having internal challenges or internal clients, internal customers, we have to brace ourselves for that. We have to stand in between. We have to absorb all challenges and yet go forward in this in this expectancy that we will create uh, uh, a brand platform, and we will keep giving elements of surprise and happiness as much as possible to people arriving every day on a daily basis. For that, our mindset has to change. Our mindset has to be a hub of innovation, not anybody else. We are the cause of innovation because we are the hub of innovation in our heads. Every day, from a minute schedule to a major schedule, we'll have to think, innovate, think, innovate, think, innovate. That brings me to the next slide. Think outside the box. Let's spend some time on this itself. Normally, you've heard this phrase, think outside the box, in various, forums, discussions, and even when you're on one-on-ones with various other people, looking at new managers, new marketers, new vendors, and stuff like that. You hear this quite often. Think outside the box. What is really thinking outside the box? What is it? There is a box, and I'm standing outside the box, and I start to think something else. Is it that, or is it a little bit more than that? Because a box boxes us, all of us, not only you and me. It boxes all of us. It boxes everyone who is surrounding us, who is looking towards us for help, for support, and for direction. Even they are boxed within us, with us, within the box. Our leadership is also boxed within the box. Our leadership also says, oh, if it is MG or revenue share, okay, it is MG or revenue share. Let's not think any other way. Isn't there any other way to think about things? Oh, my parking is only 2000 plus, and I cannot have more parking. Are we thinking out of the box? Is there a way of getting more customers even without having parking? Is there a way of making a walking plaza at the entry of the mall? No. We have traffic issues, we have circulation issues, and so on and so forth. The government doesn't allow this, doesn't allow that, and so we cannot have a walking plaza. We have boxed ourselves within our own boxes, ignoring the potential if we break free from all those thoughts. When I say
Indraneel,
break free,
sorry, yeah, I'm interrupting you. In fact, we have got a message that the screen is not visible. The template which you are showing, think outside the box, it's not visible. So you have to, make some changes.
okay, give
Do
me a
it in
sec.
the portrait form. Yes.
No, earlier was visible, right?
I don't know, but just I got a message. So maybe see what best can be done.
No,
Now it is visible. It is
it is
visible.
visible.
Just I got a message, it is visible. Okay,
Okay, fine, fair enough. So
please,
we
sir.
continue.
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
So outside, think outside the box is a constant work, constant process for the leadership to do, constant process for the mall custodian to continue doing. It requires energy, it requires a whole lot of passion, it requires complete deconstruction of your understanding on a daily basis. If yesterday something was good for the third floor of the mall, today it should not be good. It should not be. You may succeed, you may not. That is factorless. The idea that you are challenging your own ideas on a daily basis should be the idea. Now, the first line of this slide is the city you are in and its potential. You know, when we say city, a city is actually a very large space in which your mall is either in the center or in some corner of the entire city. So automatically, what happens is all real estate development people, they start talking about catchments. They start talking about neighborhoods. They start talking about navigation and various other things, roads, locations, etc., etc. Move away from the real estate orbit of it. From the very first day onwards, you must know that the city means all of these clients have become our captive customers. The entire city, if it is a 10 lakh city, that means all the 10 lakh people are our captive customers. You have to start thinking in that process. That will enable you to put the F&B correctly. That will enable you to put the fun properly. That would enable you to create the number of cinemas that you desire to create to attend to the entire city, not a part of the city, not a part, a partial location or something like that. The What happens is we start limiting ourselves because of real estate indices from the very first day onwards. You have to be different. It may be possible that you will be overruled by the promoters, you would be overruled by the investors, you would be overruled by the bankers, and so on and so forth. Doesn't matter. You have to think in your heart that the entire city is your captive clientele. Only then, only then you will prepare yourself for the entire city, because the city has people, and the people is the be all and end all of a mall project. You have to get those people into your space. If you think a language is going to work, use the language to bring the people in. If you think a fun project can work, bring do that and get the people in. If you think that a bevy of F&B projects can work, decide on that and do it correctly. If you are not in charge of leasing, somebody else is in charge of leasing, and he has done something, he or she has done something from some other location altogether. They're probably sitting in Bombay or Bangalore or Delhi, and then they have leased the project and given to you to run. Even then, you insist on creating changes within the brands, within their menus, within the fun that they offer, within the characters, within the dresses, the uniforms that they wear, and the way they speak. You have to create changes so that it appeals to the entire city. A city consists of old people, senior citizens. It consists of professionals who are working in corporates and in large businesses. It has people who are in minor occupations. It has people who are in gig occupations. That means they are Zomato carriers, delivery people. They are Swiggy delivery people. It has people who are cab drivers, electricians, fitters, garage technicians, and so on and so forth, who are working in small businesses. It has small business owners, business people who close their shops at 8 o'clock in the evening and are only free from 8:30 or 8:45 in the evening, and then they want to come to a place and enjoy themselves. You have to be prepared for all of these people. There is no chance that you ignore any of these people and say, no, no, my mall is not delivering to these kind of people. My mall is not for all these kind of people. Your mall is for everyone. When people ask you who your clientele is, I know many managers find it very difficult to answer that question. Who is my clientele? Is it ultra HNIs, UHNIs? It is HNIs, or is it upper middle class, or is it middle class, or is it lower middle class? Come on, how can we define all of that? How do we know that the ultra HNI is not coming in for the first day, first show of a movie, which is being put out by some big shot director or somebody like that? How do we know that he's not coming to watch a Rajnikant movie first day, first show? Just because he's an ultra HNI, he makes a lot of money. He's not going to watch a movie. Is he not your clientele in some way or the other? And so, therefore, will you or will you not prepare yourselves for those kind of people? That is where I have a fundamental differences with this old thinking that it has to be aimed towards someone. No, it has to be aimed towards everyone, and that is how potential comes about. That is how you will be prepared for everyone. Sorry. Once you know that people are your captive customers, what should we do? What do you think we should be considering to do? We should completely understand the sociology of the city. Do people have early dinners? I'm asking a very simple question. In Chennai, everybody has an early dinner. How do we plan to run a center after people have had dinners at 7:30? Are we going to not run a center? That's the way to go. In London, they all have dinner by 6:37, but they have a throbbing nightlife up till 2 a.m. in the morning, and nobody feels that he's not enjoyed London after 7 p.m. in the evening. So we can adopt all these practices and make a throbbing nightlife happen in our mall, even after people have had dinner somewhere else, or they have had come to the mall and have had dinners. And that is why I don't understand why some restaurants would choose to go offline between 3:30 and 7:30 and then come back at 7:30, prepare themselves, prepare their crockery and cutlery, and be ready for a dinner only at 8 o'clock. What happens to the people who can understand F&B over here? Therefore, I gave an F&B people. We need to understand the sociology. Years ago, there was a mall I was in, and I was standing, and somebody had actively told the security guards to discourage people with kurta and pajama. Bad mistake. It doesn't happen that way. We have to respect people for what they are. We cannot change people. We have to change ourselves to serve those people. What happens if that person in his kurta pocket had 4 lakh rupees and he had come to spend in cash in your mall? He would go back disappointed immediately. Sociology has to be understood. Sociology has to be understood to an extent wherein you know how they spend, how they pray, how they laugh, how they eat, how they work. Pune sleeps in the afternoon for 1 hour. What can you do about that? Goa sleeps for 2 hours in the afternoon. What can you do about that? Should you have a mall which closes at this hour? No, you shouldn't. You should plan for it. You should plan in different ways to meet this exigency. There are various cities which have various ideas. We have to go along with it and create a new profile for it. And therefore, the mall will start working at that hour or at that time or all during the day. Then I have this pet peeve from various people. Say 5 days it doesn't work, only 2 days it works. Come on, then we have not understood the sociology of the city ourselves at all, that we have not set ourselves to do the 5 day exercise. What is the 5 day exercise? Are people working very hard? Are people in small businesses very, very busy? Then we come to find that they're busy only from 12 o'clock onwards, because they have opened their establishments at 11, and then they get busy 12 o'clock. And then from there till 9 o'clock, they're busy. And at that point of time, if you open a mall and keep for them, they're not going to come because they're busy elsewhere. Indore, example, Raipur, another example. People are busy elsewhere. What can you do? Grade B cities, most of them are busy during the day. They have nobody to fall back on. There is one earning member, and the rest of the people are inside the house. They don't come out. And so, how are you going to address those issues? You have to have more fun. You have to have things for children. You have to have things specifically for women. You may have to have a little bit of uh, education and learning going hand in hand in your mall. You have to have more fast fashion, which is aimed towards collegiates and young adults, who are on the uh, who are still not earning, but they are still with their homes and they have nowhere to go. They don't want to be staying at home with their parents during the day. They could be doing something else. Instead of standing at the neighboring pan shop and having a chai, they could be at your mall. Don't Let's not disrespect a cup of tea. Our own mall, my own mall over here, South City Capital Mall, started with 35 rupees tea being consumed the most. That was the highest amount of consumption per item consumption in the whole mall at one given point of time. And from there, we have come so far. So let's not ignore anything. We have to set up our mall in such a way with our own ideas that would understand the sociology, respect it, and welcome the people. Then there is this part of creating ideas for them. Yeah, we spoke about education and learning concepts just now. So let's examine what are the ideas that we can put forth. What is idea? An idea is something that takes place in your brain, in our brains, in our heads, influenced by various factors that keep happening all around us. Now, what are these influences? Some of it is economic influences, some of it is political influences, some of it is sport influences, some of it is cultural influences, and happy to say some of it is WhatsApp forward influences these days. All right. Now, when all these influences come into your mind, it gives birth to a few ideas. Now, one day the idea could be about a holy performance in your place. The very next day, the idea could be about a social objective, about a blood donation camp or something like that. The next day, it could be something about a fashion parade. The very next day, the idea could be about a fancy dress show. The very next day, it could be sit and draw. Ideas can come forward, borrowed ideas can come forward, very original ideas can come forward, but give birth to ideas on a daily basis. You may look at your brands and then try to give birth to ideas, or you may ignore brands totally, look at just social trends, look at just what is all happening all around, and start giving birth to ideas. Slowly these ideas may take shape. Now there are a lot of external factors in this. Some may have bosses, promoters, board of directors who may govern all these ideas, who may say that there is a budget and so you have to go accordingly, and so forth. I respect all of that, but that doesn't stop your ideas. Even if your budget is zero, you should keep having ideas. because there are zero budget ideas also that have been created, done, and operated and brought to success in this very mall from where I'm speaking. So, what what is an idea that would click in a mall in the most effervescent manner? Fun. Fun is your biggest idea that would always bring you to success. So you may say, oh, fun means you'll have to bring circus guys or funny characters or Disney or Marvel or somebody like that, and only then. No, no. Ideas can be basic. For the last 5 days now, we are having a book fair in which one company called bookchore.com has come in, and they are creating books in a box, wherein you get a small box, you get a medium sized box, and you get a large box. So you can take as many books as you want in your boxes, and so that it covers correctly, and you can go and pay an X amount and take away the box. It doesn't matter how many books you're buying to them. The name is also very, very funny, huh? Bookchore.com. So it's a name that can be can be very funny. So what happened is, on the last Friday when it started, we saw that books ran out in the afternoon. On the Saturday, books ran out before the afternoon, and again in the evening. And on Sunday, books ran out 3 times. If I start to say how many people, went and bought books, you'd be horrified. We had over 80,000 people who had bought books. That is the power of a simple fun project. Now you would say, what has books got to do with fun? Books has everything to do with fun. The idea that you're selecting or not selecting a book, that the idea is that you are selecting a book to go and read, the idea that you are browsing through the book before buying it is all fun. It's happiness. I didn't see even one sad person when taking a walk through those areas on those days. They are all happy people, young, old, very old, nannies along with children. I have seen everyone standing over there. How can you not call it fun? And does every fun bit has to be from us spending our money and doing things? No, we can bring in associates and who can do this on behalf of us and even charge. Nobody minds giving some value towards the fun that they're getting, as long as they have great fun. Make things happen. Make fun happen on a regular basis. Everybody loves fun. But you would be able to understand fun only when you have interests. It is about you also. Do you have enough interests? Do you have I understand everybody is a mall manager. You need to look at facilities, the usual things, maintenance, housekeeping, security, guest services, tenant relations, and so on and so forth, leasing, and so on and so forth. Everything is understood. But bingo. But this is us as a mall manager. This is only 15 to 20% of our job, really. Our rest of the job is to engage our customers, make our clients, that is our tenants and our brands, happy. And so therefore, we must have interests. Now, what are the interests that we must have? You'd be surprised to know we must have knowledge about music. We must have knowledge about cinema. We must have knowledge about art. Art doesn't mean only paintings. We must know sculpture. We must know installations, we must know 3D, we must know 4D, we must know 5D, we must know holograms, we must know sport. We must have on our fingertips all the live sport that is happening all around the world. How do we not know that our city now admires La Liga more than they admire IPL? How do we not know? Do we have any conclusion that our city does not like La Liga? Long ago, I was in orbit Vashi. One afternoon, I went to one of the F&B ventures over there on the second floor. I happened to open the door and get in. And to my surprise, the place was full. A bar was full of 18 and 19 years old. I got horrified. I thought everybody was drinking. And they were not allowed to drink underage over there. Then the bartender assured me, no, sir, nobody is drinking over here. They come here, they have some refreshments, and they have their usual cokes and stuff. And they are all watching EPL. Surprised me. And I'm not talking about today, I'm talking 2010. A whole bunch of young people sitting and watching EPL, the first match that starts early in the evening, not later in the evening. And it was live sport which was being commissioned, and the place was full. It completely changed my idiom. It gave me a huge surprise. I was an unprepared mall manager looking onto something which has surprised me completely. So that is sport. Sport can give you many dividends. And please look beyond cricket. There are many things happening that you do not know. I have conclusive dividends through Kabaddi also. Then there is food. Your interest in food, everybody is interested in food. But move beyond your food courts and beyond your restaurants. Start to delve deep into food and try to do things with food that you have never done before. That includes cookouts, that include food shows, that includes food podcasts, and do anything and everything with food that is possible. Then there is beverages. Might I say that the interest in beverages among the young and among the Gen Z is much ahead of us mall managers. Much. They are way ahead of the curve. They will tell us at least 15 types of gin, which we don't know at all. We have absolutely no clue about all these things. If we don't have a clue, how are we to prepare ourselves for them? We will never prepare ourselves. And for them, drinking is not a taboo concept. Drinking is okay. Anybody drinks, as long as it's social. They don't drink to die. They drink to enjoy themselves. In Gurgaon, there was a gin festival. There was no place to stand. No place to stand. And people from all over Delhi NCR had come to that festival. If there is any Gurugram industry colleague over here, he would know probably what I'm speaking about. Then there is humor. You know how humor has come forth. All of you are checking out reels and YouTube short videos all day long. You know how much humor is playing a role in our life. Every day I watch a lot of humor, and every day I wonder how I can bring it into a mall in a new way. Not only as stand-up, maybe I will start skits tomorrow. I'll start small one acts tomorrow at one corner of the mall, wherein people will pile in and see for 15-20 minutes and then go about their shopping. I don't know. May do that. Social impact. Now, social impact is not about just social service. It is about making an impact. That means people will admire what you are doing, and people will come for that, and they will stand and look. It could be a documentary. It could be a effort, on-ground effort somewhere in a jungle or in a village or in a river or anywhere. It could be environmental impact. It could be against pollution. All these factors need to be happening at our mall. Then there is science. People should be interested in science. Science will increasingly be terrestrial. It will be all around us. It is not something to study and forget. It will be all around us, and I would be very happy to see science projects inside the mall, making science very easy for all customers coming in, all people traveling all around the mall. Then there is business, startup, technology. We can do millions of things. I'm not just talking hackathons and things like that. Those are very pedestrian. They have already happened. I'm thinking far beyond that. I leave you all to think far beyond that. IIT Madras has produced 25 unicorns. Why aren't they making a celebratory appearance at the Chennai malls? If there is any Chennai industry colleagues, I implore you to bring them to the malls and make them very, very acceptable to everyone. So technology shouldn't be closeted somewhere. Business shouldn't be closeted somewhere. It shouldn't be only for chosen few. Our malls should make them acceptable to the whole world. Then there is glamour, and then there is fashion. Some of it you know, but much of it we don't know. Can all of you say that you know the world of blushers and foundations? Don't know actually. We don't know how what cosmetics can play a role to this generation and to the millennial generation. The Gen Z and the millennials, the last 25 years of people being born, are the people who are looking at cosmetics in a very different way, in ways that we have never looked at cosmetics ever before, which is why cosmetics is booming across the mall now, in all the malls. And if it is not booming, it is your duty, it is our duty to immediately seek a change, get it changed, make live shows out of it, make Instagrammable properties out of it, make reels all over the place. We have to do things for glamour. Glamour is the order of the day. Glamour is going to be every day now. Look at how Korean fashion has taken over the entire world, so to say, all around us. There are brands which are taking birth just on Korean fashion. You know, there's a brand called Freakins. I freaked out looking at the fashion that the brand is bringing in. And why shouldn't these people have regular fashion shows at our places? With our aid or all on their own? It doesn't matter to us at this point as to who's going to spend behind it. There isn't much to spend actually. If you ask me, there isn't much to spend. It can be done in very engaging and simple manners also. We were obsessed with the Omegas and the Longines and the Levi's and the Tommy Hilfigers of the world. But there is a wealth of new fashion, new brands, and new glamour that has swept the millennials and the Gen Z completely away. And they are well ahead of the curve. They are far ahead. We have to have retaining interest. We have to cultivate our interest. We have to read. We have to see. We have to understand a lot more to get where they are. And it's not very nice to be behind your customers, way behind your customer. We won't understand them. We won't understand our ails. We won't understand our VMs. We won't understand our inventories. We won't understand the new assortments that is being created. Will it be only left to some creative champion somewhere sitting in Bangalore or Atlanta or London? Those who are creative directors of their or fashion directors of their companies, and they are advising their brand heads whatever is big. We have to know as much as them, and sometimes even more than them. We are the champions of this big behemoths that we create all around ourselves. 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 10 lakh, 15 lakh square feet. We are the champions. We. There is nobody else but us who are standing between failure and success. So we have to have at least 2 to 3 hours of study every day without fail. And our assistant managers and our senior managers also have to get into the act behind us. It is a 7 day job, my industry colleagues. There is absolutely no way you can think of it otherwise. 5.5 days and 1.5 days of freaking out with the family and stuff like that, and sitting with the children, homework and all. No, this industry isn't that. This industry is constant learning and applying that learning, constant seeking interests, newer interests, and applying those interests into our model. We can't have all kinds of interests. Some people can have, not all. Some of you may have, you may understand today's music, may like the cinema that is produced by Malayalam cinema, can understand art in 3D, can like La Liga and Bundesliga, can understand Japanese food, can understand new kinds of rums and gins, can have humor, which is you can understand Malcolm McIntyre also. Uh, can have social impact projects in your head, can look at the pollution, can look at the the rivers that are completely polluted, can understand science, can understand business, startups, technology, can even understand why ether energy is doing well and other EV projects are not doing well, and can understand cosmetics, glamour, fashion, pleats, trims, buttons, and everything else. But not all of us. I seek from you, my industry colleagues, that at least some of these interests be retained so that you present a fresh perspective to your internal stakeholders and your external stakeholders and froth your mall. Blend it all in. So let us come to the first point. Stretch the mix of retail. What is stretching the mix of retail? Now, today, if you ask somebody to tell what are the retail categories in your mall, everybody will say 9, 10, 12, 15, 16 categories. What about 56 categories of retail? I have that in mind. My leasing head and his team and our retail performance teams. Yes, we do have a retail performance team over here. Everybody worked hard and we brought about change after change after change till we got to a place wherein there is 56 kinds of retail in the mall. We have a big mall, so we have done it. I don't foresee that happening in many other malls, but you have to keep stretching the mix of retail. You can't have furniture, 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 furniture. You have to have furniture, home decor, home artifacts, and so on and so forth. You have to have some changes here and there. Therefore, the power of a floor will come towards you. You have to stretch. You have to keep stretching the mix of retail as much as you can. Just now, we are working on a project wherein caps will become a new fashion. Caps and hats will become a new fashion and we'll move it to a new category. Yep. So just giving you one example of how we want to stretch retail. Why should they be among the accessories or some, very sidey business? They should be a prime business by themselves. Let us call on brands. Let us have them. Let us go fashion forward. Let people in our town start wearing hats once again. Why not? I implore all of you to think about hats as a category. Customers should say that, yes, everything is available here. Why to go anywhere else? This is what should happen with all our customers. We said value fashion. From value fashion, fast fashion took birth. And today, look where fast fashion has gone. Similarly, from fast fashion, also something else should take birth and it should go. We should keep stretching. We should keep stretching our minds continuously. And therefore, we want people who start to think more than standard processes. Standard processes, we all understand. We all understand the standard opening process of a mall up till 10:30. What should be done so that the mall gleams, looks great, and feels great, and the security is there, and the CCTVs are working, and everything is integrated, and people are going to come in. We know all of that. Those are standard processes. What about the creative processes? Why is there no thought on creative processes among your people? I'm not saying that the technicians should start working differently. The lift technician should start working differently. No, that's not the order of the day. Those people do what they do, and therefore the mall continues as it should. But there are managers below you. There are managers with you, around you. Those who can be made to think differently, given some amount of liberty, some amount of independence to think differently. Their thinking should be applauded. Their thinking should be taken onto the table. Some amount of time should be spent on their thinking. Even if you discard their thinking after that, you should be able to tell them, great, I love your thinking. I'm not able to accommodate it now because of certain exigencies, but I love what you are thinking. I am noting it down, and make an effort to note it down right in front of them. Your people are your bank. Your people are your wealth. You have to make them thrive creatively. And therefore, if you make them work creatively, you will get a situation wherein everything becomes an event. Everything. Even the smallest process of launching a store becomes an event. Some of you may have seen my LinkedIn passages where I write about openings of stores. Why I make it so much of an event? Because I really believe it is an event. I'm not just making it happen for whatever, for happiness or for reach or something like that. No, I don't want people to applaud me. That's not the case. The case is that's the work. I have to make it an event. That's my work. Pardon me, my friends. We have to understand our work in a different way. We have to make everything an event. And therefore, we have to challenge our brands. We have to challenge our brands in design, in VM, in assortment, in supply chain, in communication, in every possible sphere of work. We have to challenge them. Just before this started, the entire Reliance team was here. I asked the Usta team as to why there was dryness all around the POS. Why aren't there some accessories, knickknacks, small merchandise which is landed all around the POS? Why? Why is it dry? Because a dry line in front of a POS makes a customer become idle in his mind. And once he becomes idle, the items that he has in his bag or in his basket or in his hands, he might be tempted to rethink whether he's wanting to buy it or not. Because maybe, and it's a big possibility that it is a frivolous buy. You know, the t-shirt that he's buying, he might reconsider buying that t-shirt. Or if he's buying 4 t-shirts, he might reconsider buying two t-shirts. Then as he is standing there or she is standing there, they will just put the 2 t-shirts on the side or put it back into the rack and come back after saying excuse me to the next guy standing. That's it. The UPT comes down. That's it. The basket becomes smaller. And the whole mall has lost revenue. So I challenged the Usta guys today, just before this, I challenged the Usta guys that I need to have that by next week. I need to have small assortments, which their mind will be engaged while the POS, in the time at the POS comes up. And maybe they'll pick out something. You know how much Zudio sold small merchandise last month? And the merchandise that is kept in front of the POSs in our place? 8.5 lakhs. It's not funny. It's bigger than your average kiosk, which is there in your mall. That is the expectations that we should have from our brands in design, in VM, in assortment, in supply chain, in communication, and many other things. You can think of any other things which. But while we say this design, VM, assortment, supply chain, we have got to learn also all about it. We can't just say superficial stuff. We can't say, oh, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, I'm giving you time, you can bring in your goods and stuff like that. That's very superficial, that anybody does. You have to go far more deep into it. Far more depth has to be there. What time does West Side come in? What is the best time to come in? Why do they come in so much? More styles is required on the aisles. It's as simple as that. On the floors, more fresh things should hang, and that would bring about sales. On August 1st, we had 1 crore 40 lakhs sale from one day, West Side. One day. How did that happen, man? Only because my entire, uh, operations shift. They worked overnight damn hard to get all the merchandise, fresh merchandise in. It was not fresh because they were also doing a little bit of EOSs, but they were getting it shifted from all other places and all other DCs that they had. And they spent the entire night, doing RFID stuff and hanging them in time for the morning business. And because they did that, things happened. We should support that. We should just not sit with our own worlds, not thinking about all these things, thinking through their entire businesses. Even a small coffee shop, if they're selling Caribbean coffee or if they're selling Venezuelan coffee, we must find out ways and means to understand that and challenge them as to how do they enable more sales of that. Is it blackboarding things? Is it whiteboarding things? Is it sampling things? Is the barista going to be speaking to people? Is he going to come out and talk at the tables? We have to be involved everywhere, every which way in it. That would bring about better market perception by your leader brands. Better market perception of the mall, of us, by the leader brands. The lifestyle people will go back and talk in the head office or talk in some other mall or talk in some other city saying that, Hare Wah, they take so much interest, they support us so much, they do so many things, they do so many creative stuff, the mind-boggling stuff. And then your market perception keeps going up. Better and better brands start landing up at your doorstep for no reason, for reasons that you yourself don't know as to why all that is happening. It's because you are creating a perception. You're blending it all in. It is all falling into place. And all these above ideas will enable your mall decor. Mall decor is not a separate entity. It is not just somebody thinking, some outside guy sitting and thinking, oh, we'll do alligators now. Oh, we'll do some, national flag stuff now. No, brother, nothing of that sort is going to happen. All these, whatever ideas that is there, all these blending in, all these mix of retail, everything will slowly become your mall decor. You could have tentpole decor. We did have Ashoka pillar just now, and it became very selfie crazy place for a long period of time. Ashoka pillar. Everybody is doing Ashoka pillar. Though we painted it golden for whatever reason, but that is how we wanted it, and it succeeded beyond compare. It's there. User generated content is there all over the place, in lakhs, in lakhs, in lakhs. But when you stretch all these items that we have spoken about just now, it enables your head to think of mall decor very, very holistically. That makes you an Instagrammable mall. You are the biggest social friendly mall. You're the biggest platform. You're the biggest content platform. You're everything for your customer. Then your customer is not only coming from your catchment. Your customer has become your mall has become the destination. People are coming from all over the place because virality goes anywhere. We are in Hyderabad. Virality is happening in Nalgonda. It is happening in Ankapalli. It is happening in Kadapa. It is happening in Tenkasi. It is happening in Kurnool. Every day, my mall receives about 60 to 70 cars from Kurnool. Kurnool is 3 hours, 40 minutes away from this mall. That is the power of virality. Virality can only happen when we blend it all in. Change. And all this is dependent on personally you. If you notice, I have just written the E, large. The E is large. Now, why is the E large? E is ego, man. We are defeated by our egos. We think by sitting in an office and on top of a large table, and people coming and taking advance notices of meetings with us, we are big guys. We aren't. We have to be the servant leaders of our respective malls. We have to be there on the floor all the while. We have to be registering things which nobody else does. It is personally you, us, that has to be doing everything. And therefore, humble is the way to go. We have to be full of humility. We have to be able to take criticism just like that. We have to have skins which is bear plus alligator plus hippopotamus. That kind of skin we should have. We should plot our day. We should plot our hours. We should plot our meetings. We have to make them effective. Think about about your day on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Wake up in the morning, go for a morning walk or a morning run, and keep thinking in that particular period about how your day is going to be. What is the success that you want to achieve from the day? What is the happiness that you want to achieve from the day? Who are you going to influence that very day? This very day, who are you going to influence? If I am not able to influence at least 10 of you today, I have failed in my work today completely. So plot your day, your hour, and your meetings. Your meetings are very important. Not only office meetings, your meetings on the floor, your meetings with your vendors, your meetings with your associates, your meetings with your brand heads. You have to meet everyone. Don't think of not meeting people. You have to do the most meetings in the day in the whole mall. Not your retail relations person, not your front office executives, not anybody else. We have to do it ourselves. And therefore, we should have small wins every day. Small wins. I'm not talking large wins. I'm not talking another 10,000 square feet signed at the rate of 170 rupees on the fourth floor or something like that. No, those are big wins. Of course, they will come. I'm talking about small wins. I'm talking about your ice cream center is having in 2 new flavors because you have said so. I'm talking about your burgers having no burnt edges because you have said so. I'm talking about one dead end of the mall being colored red because you have said so. I'm talking about new sets of paper cutlery or bamboo cutlery because you have said so. Have said so. These are your wins. There's the big picture and the chota picture. So the big picture is go a little distant, understand what is happening, understand from a distance, understand what is happening so that you know what can go wrong. You can think ahead of the curve a little bit. You can think where the other people are not thinking. You don't expect them to think also like that, but you have to think to serve your internal stakeholders, who are your board of directors, who are your bosses, who are your promoters or your investors. And on the other side, you have to state your external stakeholders, which is your partners, which is your vendors, which is your final customer who's arriving at the mall. Excuse me. You have to spot brand trends from far back. You have to study that much. I keep studying every day. I spotted a trend which Nike had done in the 90s. I spotted that trend in another sneaker guy, and who's which is happening to them now. What happened to Nike in the 90s? And and I spotted weird things in weird like in footwear. I saw that value footwear is not working really. One day I just spotted it. Then I went back and I found that yes, it has some history in it. So you have to keep spotting trends. I'm not saying what I spotted is right or wrong or whatever. You will spot your own trends. Pune will spot its own trends. Gorakhpur will spot its own trends. Lucknow will spot its own trends. Gurugram will spot its own trends. Kochi will spot its own trends. Everybody will spot different trends, but they will be trends from a little time back or maybe very far back. And the more you spot trends, the more you feel the nitty-gritty, the more you will succeed. Lastly, your success can be a web. I just said about the ego. It is great to be in a web because everything is around you. It is a web, it is interconnected, and you are inside the web. But don't get caught. You are the spider who shouldn't get caught in your own web. You do not find yourself to be brilliant and get caught in the arc of your own brilliance. First of all, don't consider yourself brilliant. Servant leadership is not about being brilliant. It is about doing. It's about execution. It's about continuous learning. So, first of all, don't think yourself to be brilliant and don't get caught in that arc. I am this, I am that, I have done this, I have done that, I am great. Yeah, this is not going to work. You have to fight your own ideas. You have to fight your own actions. You have to fight hard with the ideas and the communications to stay ahead. The idea is to stay ahead. That's how you're going to make a super success small. And ideas will bring about it. So you have to keep fighting those ideas. Kal ka jo acha tha, today is not good at all. You have to dump it. Go Colors is now campaigning to become the Uniqlo of the future. Array, you have made history with bottoms. You have made history with what you have sold thus far. Those leggings. Why should you change? They are changing completely as we speak. You are your brand's best partner. Don't keep them guessing. Don't play riddles around them. I know what is happening. No, nothing. Stop directly, immediately. Make them understand what you are thinking. They will appreciate. They will go back. They will retrain themselves. They'll redo and they'll come back. Satyen Momaya came in, the national head of Celio. I straight away, in 5 minutes, I had told him what I felt should be done. He cannot change his price points. He cannot bring down his price points. His shirts will cost 3,500 and above. But how is he going to fight the splurge of D2C brands who are selling at half the price and selling nearly the same cotton and linen mix and 70/30 and making beautiful products at the gates of India. You cannot change that. वो नहीं होगा. So you better start doing other things. That is communication, honesty, more honesty in your communication. I had told all of this in 10 minutes flat. Momaya didn't have time. He had to visit so many places and he had to take the evening flight back to wherever he came from. He understood flat in 10 minutes what I wanted. And therefore, he had all the respect for us when he departed. Meet and greet every time. Anybody comes to this place, we go, we meet. Me and my colleagues are never short of time for all our people, whether they are vendors, whether they are brand heads, brand people, or whether they are industry people who come to visit us. A dear friend, an industry colleague from here, Hyderabad, sent two of his training executives to visit this mall. Somehow those training executives landed up at my office in the evening at say about 6:15, 6:30. I spent nearly 2 hours with those two young gentlemen who are actually Gen Z. They are 23, 24 years old, maybe even younger. I spent 2 hours with them. And they are a competitor mall. They're from a different mall. But I thought I have to spend some time with them. Meet and greet every time. It brings a dividend that you do not know is there. And that brings me to the end of it. Thank you, my friends. I have exceeded the time by about 5-10 minutes.
No,
Very sorry.
Indraneel, it was such a real enlightening session you had conducted. Very interesting, and I hope all my viewers must have learned a lot. You gave them practical tips, which not only applies to mall industry but to other industries also. So let's come to the question answer session. In fact,
Yes.
immediately when you had started the session, so gentlemen, he's assistant manager because his email ID is there, assistant manager mall operations srmt.com. And you have used the word, out of box. So what he has written is younger groups was disturbing the regular customers. What activity we supposed to do within the box? I don't know
Okay.
what he's trying to ask. You can
Okay.
guess.
So I do not get the question completely, but I believe
Should
that
I read
he's
it out once again? Younger groups was disturbing the regular customers. What activity we supposed to do within the box?
okay. It's possible that he's asking about that younger groups are disturbing the other customers during events or something like that. And what could we do as events to
Yeah.
within the establishment uh, set parameters to enable the younger people. See, younger people, the culture is different among younger people. It is not the same as some of the older people. People who are past their 25s, um, or safely put, people who are 30 plus, they have a different idea about India, about happiness, about pursuits, about work, about engagement, about family, about relationships, and about education. So many things are different in the plus 30 category people, and in the minus 30 category people it is completely different because they come from the internet arena. They come from the internet arena. So the internet arena has become completely different. It helps people think very, 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 very extraordinarily. They're at the touch of the finger. They have got new ideas, on their mobiles and stuff like that. So without disturbing the mall, without really taking people off the grid, off the shopping grid, we can design a host of activities for these people. Let me give you an example. There is a very, very famous actor who has become a food blogger also. Uh, he still acts, of course, but he's more famous as a food blogger. So we know him as an actor because we saw him in the 80s and 90s and all of that as an actor. But for the younger generation, he's a food blogger. The moment you bring in him and do an event with such a kind of guy, you will see that he appeals to the elder generation in a different way. He appeals to the younger generation in a different way. And so therefore, it becomes a interesting kind of an event, even without raising the temperature, raising the music amp of the mall, and creating a den. Everything doesn't have to be a flash dance or a mob dance or something like that. Nothing. There are other ways of also engaging customers. This is one way that I have told. There are other ways. Yes.
Sujata from Brookfields, she writes a wonderful session, very articulate and vibrant. Now I have a question from anonymous attendee. Thank you, Sujata, for your comments.
Thank you, sir.
Anonymous attendee, his question is, can you share some insights on Sarat City tackled COVID impact? How did Sarat City tackle COVID
COVID
impact?
impact. Okay, I'll quickly say, when COVID event happened, we were a very young mall. We were just about 1 year and a few months old. All right, we had no way to escape the wrath of COVID, and not support our clients, our brands. So we had to go full on support. We were one of the first in the whole nation to signify complete rent uh, thing. Uh, uh, we waived the rent for 2.5 months, and after that there was 50% rent for everyone till the end of the year.
Now, Farida from Nexus Mall, she's asking, sir, are you going to share the recording of this session with us? Farida, in fact, we post all our workshops recording on our YouTube. So there you can find this. We will be posting in another, maybe after a fortnight or so. So you'll get there. You'll find other recordings also. We had conducted so many sessions, and you will find them very interesting and enlightening. So I think, Indraneel, we should close the session here only. And one more question. Okay. So let me see. I want this was center head TNR northcitymall.com writes, this was a great session. Many thanks to the speaker. Much insight have been provided to an operational mall. I am working with a mall which is yet to launch shortly with few delays and hurdles with the launch timelines. Could you please give us some engagement strategies to take existing and new tenants in confidence? How do we better the LL stroke developer and tenants relationship?
All right, it's a classic case. It happens time to time with many malls. When there are delays in openings, brands have this big question mark as to when should they come in, when should they fit out, what time would they really sign the term sheet, which is when is the time that they would get into agreement, when is the rent commencement date going to happen, and when is the mall going to sort of and how is the mall going to support them. So first is open up all your communication routes with all clients, with all the brands that you are bringing on. You have to talk, you have to write, you have to message, you have to go over in also some circumstances to their offices and keep telling them what is the physical stage of construction, build out, tenant, fit out, and everything else. You have to keep all your conversations open. Not only you have to encourage all your colleagues also to do it. You have to probably even encourage your IPCs to do it, whoever is your consultants and everybody else. Everybody should be talking the same language. You have to keep continuously putting out the official language that has to be spoken. These many people signed, this is what is coming into fit out this week, this is what is going to be ending fit out this week. It has to be continuous, it has to be continuously done. You have to paint new pictures for them on a continuous basis. That is the only way to keep everybody engaged. Next.
Here, again, a question is from srmt.com. Their question is, Dear Sir, can we have few ideas with zero budget with example?
Okay, I can't give you many ideas with zero budget because it takes a lot of time, because zero budget ideas need to be stretched and understood. But I'll give you one idea that we did in the mall. Selfie corners became our go-to project because we had no money at one given point of time to market ourselves. So we painted walls. We put up, because most of the stores were not open, we put up these beautiful pictures on board outs, and we created very well lit pathways, and we put interesting music in the background, so that when they walked, they were continuously happy. And in front of all these, automatically people started taking selfies. And as they took selfies, they started writing their own content, and then they started putting it, not only selfies, they in groups also, and they took photographs of each other also. And so therefore, the virality started happening, that this was a new mall and there was various things happening in this place. Some things are coming up, in a few months this will come up, in a few months that will come up. The other thing that we kept doing is we kept tom-tomming movies. We not only just did celebrity appearances or something like that. Those things were brought in by the brand themselves, by the cinema brand themselves. But we kept tom-tomming movies. We opened up our social media in such a way that we kept tom-tomming. We talked about movies for a long time on a regular basis. We went deep into movies, and our social media took off like nobody's business. And so therefore there was a very, very high retaining interest in the mall activities. So this is one example that I can give you. Zero, no paisa.
Okay.
We just did it through our own interest. That social media interest continues till today. We have a social media person who is on our rolls, who continuously keeps getting into stores and keep doing reels and everything and putting it with music. Whatever music is trending, he takes those music and he puts it on the net, on Instagram. And therefore, we are very, very well received on Instagram all the while.
Indraneel, Mr. Madhur Ladda from Tapadia City Center, he is writing, it was an extremely engaging session, super insights. I have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Tapadia.
Yeah, how important are D2C brands for malls in tier 3 cities? And since they are expanding in only metro cities, how to get them to our mall for first mover advantage?
My friend, what you would have to do is, first of all, you have to examine whether the pin codes that are there in your town are actually registering high sales of D2C. If they are not registering high sales of D2C, for example, there is a D2C called Tokyo Talkies. Is Tokyo Talkies doing enough drops in your city, doing enough packages in your city? If they aren't, why are you running behind that brand or those kind of brands? You shouldn't. Then that's a mistake. That's an elementary mistake. Because when that D2C brand arrives in your city, people will not know about the brand, and you will have just to bear with their non-success. After you look at the pin codes, you may even write to the brand to say how much business you are doing in this pin code or these pin codes. You can give 10, 5, 10 pin codes or something like that, and you can ask them. If they give proper answers to that, is when you need to get them on board. Let me tell you another fact that D2C pin codes have now progressed beyond 2000 pin codes in the country. So they're very popular in these 2000 and above pin codes. What I know from these various D2C brands who have met huge success in our place also over here. Snitch has done the first month that Snitch is there with us. Snitch has done over 1 crore. The first 2 months that Soul Store is here, they have touched crore in each month. So they're cracking the whip as best as possible. And so we knew from before, we had already done the pin code work. So we knew from before. So when the founders came to meet me over here in the office, I knew exactly what I was getting into. I knew the styles. I knew how many styles they were launching per week, per month. And so everything was ready. And so we could easily do it. Please do that homework. You'll get to the bottom of it.
So, Indraneel, I think with this question, we are concluding the session. Once again, I thank you for conducting such an interesting and enlightening session and sparing your precious time for the Shopping Center Association and its members. So, with this, we conclude our today's session. Thank you, Indraneel.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I humbly am very flattered that for 40 odd people have sat through the session. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.